All right, let's see. Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to give a few minutes here. Wait and see who's going to pop on. Let me see. Make sure that, that you guys can, everyone can connect. So as you guys pop on, let me know when you are here. Give me a little hello. Give me a little wave. A little something so I know you're present and accounted for. Running a little bit late going live. I see one little eyeball. Okay. There we go. It might just be a little bit of a delay in the kickback here. Hello, Edith. Hello, Tammy. I see that people are starting to pop in now. So, hey, Selena, how are ya? Nice to see you guys. We have Bernice. Awesome. So for those that have not been on my lives before, welcome, welcome. My name is Paula Hunter. I'm a psychic channel medium, clinical hypnotist, Reiki master, aromatherapist, and I'm doing some spiritual coaching stuff right now too, and more metaphysical training. So I do all sorts of stuff. And of course, I go live on I was doing it twice a month. I'm doing it once a month right now, just because normally as we start coming into spring and summer, things start getting a little busier for a lot of people. So yeah, hello, Jen. Gabriel, Sarah, nice to see all you guys. Thanks for coming to hang out with me for a little while today. Jesse saying it's been a while for me. Happy to be back. You know what? I'm happy to see you back as well. It's always nice to see familiar faces as they jump in and jump on. And you know what? Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to have some individuals going live with me today. So I'll still be doing and answering questions, making connections for those of you that are jumping in from Facebook. But yeah, I've got a few individuals that I'll be bringing live with me as well. You may have seen over the past week, probably 2 weeks or so, that I was doing like a little contest. If you want to go live, I'll be doing this on a regular basis to see who wants to come live with me. So if you weren't a winner this time, then you're more than welcome to put your name in, and you can try and win it for next time. Okay. Hello, Carrie. Nice to see you guys. I'm so excited. It's always nice to see everybody. I'm running back on my different applications, so hopefully things will kind of go the way it needs to. Just to note, if any of you guys got a invite from another Paula Hunter psychic medium that is not me, so please report them. I already had somebody message me earlier asking if it was me. Gotta love the trolls. It seems like sometimes they have nothing better to do than try and be me. I guess what do they say? Copying is the sign of flattery, but yeah, gets a little bit much. Hey Steve, hey Chelsea. Again, we're just waiting. I'm just waiting a few minutes to allow some time for you guys to jump on. Hey Candy, long time no see, my dear. Donna. Awesome. So again, for those that don't know me, welcome. Thanks for coming to hang with me. So the way that I normally work, again, I've got some live individuals that I'll be bringing forward with me as well tonight. Please don't just start throwing questions in the comments, because to be very honest, I won't necessarily answer you. Said with love, but said nonetheless. The guides pretty much dictate who it is that needs that connection. Just like when I did the draw, right? They know who needs it and they put things into alignment. So as I see your names, as you make comments, right, I'm drawn to individuals' names. I make note of it, and then I'll come back to you and give you an opportunity to ask a question or have a connection as well. Okay. So yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring actually one of my ladies live with me now. And that's just because when I was grounding, I already had spirit that was stepping forward. And I had a little bit of a chat with her very, very quickly. She logged in for this evening. And she was saying that she was telling the individual that they better show up today or else. So it's always great when we set up the intentions, we send that energy out of who it is we want to connect with, and they show up. And you know what? That's usually the way it works. When you put your energy into thinking about someone or, talking to them, as I said before, everything's energy. Thoughts are energy. Words are energy. And when we do that, it sends the energy out. They perceive it, they pick it up, and they step forward, right? So I always find that exciting. That's usually why I tell my clients, too, to make a list of questions for their sessions when I have it, because when they do that prior to a session, it puts that energy up as far as this is what I want to know about, and also from the perspective of who they want to connect with. So they start lining up, they start showing up. And I've always found it really cool when somebody's made a list and this has happened, and the guides have answered the questions exactly the way they wrote them down. So I always find that, as I said, really, really interesting. But on the flip side of that, it's always reminders that we are never alone. No matter what is going on in our life, we are never alone, whether it's a guide, whether it's an angel, whether it's source God, whether it is our, our loved ones, even our pets, right? They will be around, they show up. Okay. Jen Hatt is saying, I sent an invitation, and when we had a group reading years ago, I invited my person and they were the first ones to come through. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Jen. That's exactly what happens. And as I said, I've always found it so very cool. Okay, so let's see if I can get this. Let's see if I can get it working without any issues. Oops, let's try that again. Okay, so I want you guys to say hi to Kim.
Hi, everybody.
We're pretty excited. And as I said, it's really cool. We have Brenda's here as well. And I think Brenda had 36 entries. And Kim, I think you had 2. So it just goes to show you, Spirit steps in and, they know who needs the connections, right? And as I said to you, Kim, we had a little bit of a chat before I went live. And I was asking about if somebody had a father that was looking forward to connecting tonight, because when I was grounding, I had this gentleman stepping forward and he showed me a father energy. And of course, you stepped up at that point, and let me know that he was who you were asking for today.
Yeah, very much so.
Right. Okay, so let's get at this. Give me just a second here. I recognize that this would not have been his cup of tea. He would have thought this stuff was, if you will, crap. Right? He's telling me he didn't have a belief in it, but I get this personality. I get laughter with him. He could speak his truth and speak his mind. He didn't have a problem speaking up for himself. The guides show me somebody with their arms crossed over their chest, and that's always an indicator of someone who is stubborn. So it shows me a sense of stubbornness with him as well. Okay. And don't mind me if I say okay. It's like they talk to me at the same time as trying to keep everything straight. I feel like he was sick for a time before he crossed as well. And I think there was things or illness going on in his body before he really ever let anybody know. Do you understand that?
I do.
Yeah, because I get this really proud man, this very much family focused, family oriented type of person. And what I get from him is I didn't want to worry people. So he didn't speak up about it. And he kind of gives me like a sheepish grin, meaning, I think if he had addressed things sooner than what he did, it could have had an impact on the time frame that he was here. I really get the feeling he could have stayed a little bit longer, but he was too stubborn. There's no way around that. This makes sense so far?
Yeah.
How long has your father been passed?
He passed away in 2001.
Okay, so a little bit of time. I was asking the question because he's telling me he's bragging about you.
Yeah.
Right. And he's saying, how beautiful his daughter is. Right. And then I hear all my kids are, but she's especially beautiful. So I get someone that, sorry. He's got a sense of humor, right?
Very much.
Because he says, I can be a bullshitter sometimes too. And then he laughs. I'm like, really? You're going to play that card as you're complimenting your daughter? You know what I mean? So this real, fun side of him as well.
Very much so.
So did he have issues with breathing or the heart before he passed?
It was his heart.
because it makes me feel like he had a heart attack or,
Yes.
basically just let go. And
Yes.
I feel there were symptoms coming up to it. He knew something was off. Okay.
Yeah.
So was he a smoker too?
When he was young, he was.
Okay.
Actually, when I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, we were driving home and he had just bought a carton of cigarettes and he asked me to open them for him. I gave him one. He took a puff. He started coughing. He said, "Open your window," and he threw the whole thing out the window. So he when he was a young man, up until probably, so he would have been like late 30s at that point. He was a smoker, and once he coughed that last time, he's like, "No, no more."
Okay. Give me one sec. I actually feel there could be some hereditary ties to that too. So they show me
To the
DNA.
heart, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they show me the what they used to do is show me stairs, and then they show me DNA, which represents it being in the lines, right?
Yes.
So he would have been high risk.
His father had the same heart condition, and his brother does as well.
Okay. Sorry, give me just one. Carrie, thanks for giving me that information. I'll pop on my phone when I'm finished with Kim, and I'll give him the boot. Sometimes we have trolls that jump on the page and start trying to offer readings. I don't usually always get them up, but I guess they're showing up. So, okay. Give me 1 second here. So even with what was going on, so because he shows me like it's like being okay, and then he would have departed very, very quickly. So did you not
Yes.
get the opportunity to say goodbye to him?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because it's almost like, it's like he had this expectation that he was invincible, that he was going to last a lot longer, than
Absolutely.
he actually did. So what he's showing me is, I shouldn't, well, that's exactly what I heard. He says, I shouldn't have wasted the time that I had. Right. I think,
Yeah.
again, he felt that he had much more time, and it was almost like joking around. Oh yeah, I'm not that bad right now. This type of thing. And then at the end of the day, the way he passed so very quickly and not being able to, the way he puts it is, tell my family how much I love them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Completely. Yes.
And what he's telling me is, from the family's perspective too, they show me holding a lot of guilt and a lot of emotion around the fact that you guys didn't get to say goodbye to him. Right. And as I say that, he's telling me, the guides are too, that you've had communication since then, but it isn't the same.
Right. I talk to him all the time.
He's apologizing, he says, for not having that opportunity to have the communication. Okay. Were you guys supposed to connect just before he passed?
We hadn't spoken in 2 years.
Okay. Because I get the sense of, it's like this was supposed to happen, this should have happened, and then it didn't.
Yeah, he came. He was in Alberta, and he came home in the June timeframe. And he and I had a disagreement. He and I were close as.
Well, he shows me how close you were when he's telling me how proud he is of you, right? Of the person and the woman that you became. It's like this big beaming smile.
So we had this disagreement, and when he came here, I was actually in BC getting my puppy, who was descended from our dogs, and we never had a chance to connect. He passed away in August.
Okay.
So yeah, lots of guilt there.
Okay. He doesn't want you to feel guilty over that. He says, I'm just as stubborn as you were.
Yep.
Right? And he says, things were said which never should have been said. He says, that it was just, what I heard was anger, frustration. And he says, me well enough. I always had to be right.
Yep.
Right? So that's his own, I use the term ego. That's that other side of himself. That he was never able to say he was sorry. And for that, he says, I carry that on the other side because he says it never should have been that way. So he's taking responsibility for his own stubbornness that would not allow that healing to happen between you and him.
Okay.
And I say that, and they show me other family members being involved with that too, because I think there could have been other people on the other side, or, on the sidelines trying to help bridge the gap, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. My I just found out I was pregnant with my daughter when he passed, and from a very early age, she was very connected to his spirit, I believe, and she would talk about him to me without having any knowledge of who he was. So
he watched over. He's telling me it's be like sitting and playing games with her.
Yep. Oh, yeah, tricksters. Yeah, yeah, he would, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, very
He
much.
says she needs to know that I want her to be happy, right? And that fact of being able to let go, of not being able to say goodbye and not being able to have that conversation where the two of you could have been on the same page. Because he's telling me it's like I'm happy in my life, and yet there's this piece that is almost buried or hidden to the sidelines that I can't let go of. It's a thing that's stopping you, from really finding that joy in your heart.
Sure, that makes sense.
He doesn't want you. He says, I don't want her to be sad anymore. He says, she's been sad far too long. Do you understand that?
I do.
And he says to me, tell her to thank her for inviting me and threatening to kick my ass if I didn't show.
It's true. It's so true. All day it was like, you better be there. My mom's passed too, and she and I were in a completely different realm.
Right.
But
And mom, I
yeah.
get a gentler passing, because with mom, I get the sense they show me breathing, stop. And so I get illness, but then they show me almost like an old age, but she was ready to cross. She did what she needed to complete. Father was more the one with the unfinished business. And, he feels his pride got in the way of reconciling a relationship, which could have been so much better than what it was.
Yes, my daughter said he was magic. He had when his heart gave out, he was dead before he hit the floor. So she used to say when he was little, he fell, hit his head, now he's magic.
That's cool. Yeah, almost like his heart exploding.
It did. It did. It completely did.
Yeah. There was nothing that could have shifted or changed that circumstance. And as I said, I feel that he knew there was something going prior to it, but he just didn't get it addressed.
Yep. Yeah, he did an experimental procedure, and he had AFib, and he had an experimental procedure to put a pacemaker in, and it exploded his heart.
Okay.
Literally.
So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so
was there
very fast.
Was there something you wanted to know from your father? That you had the opportunity? Or just more checking in and just needing to have that completion?
Yeah. So my parents were separated when I was young. They divorced. And when my mom passed, my daughter said they're together and they're with a baby. And she wanted to know why.
Meaning why your mother had to pass too?
No. Meaning why were they together and why do they have a baby?
Okay.
So my parents lost a child before I was ever born. She passed when as soon as she was born. So I had to explain that to her, but if they're together, it would just kind of be nice to know that they're together.
And I mean, I definitely don't get that they're not. I think they came here from a perspective of contracts and lessons, and whether they were able to achieve it or not, it doesn't matter. So we don't hold on to that type of stuff when we go to the other side, because what I get is a connection and being together, and then I thank you for my lessons, and then kind of doing their thing. So yes, they have the connection, but they're also their own individuals and not like joined at the hip or something.
Right.
Sounds like your daughter's quite the medium herself.
The older she's gotten, she's lost it. But when she was little, she was very much an empath. So,
it's always there. We just need to learn how to flex the muscle and open it up. That's all.
Yeah, and I think he touched upon the majority of what I was looking for,
Awesome.
And that he's okay, and that
he's okay. He wants you to be okay.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, there's just some healing that you have to complete to be able to, totally let that go. And I know that he's around you, and I know that he hears you. So,
I do. I tell him to send me stuff all the time, and then all of a sudden I see it. It's like,
and that's on a continual basis.
Talk to me.
And I mean, you bring up a good point too. I mean, it truly does work, right? When we ask Spirit to give us those signs and to, provide us with validation, that's what they do.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like license plate sequences. Because that's when I talk to him, is when I'm like driving.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
altered state when you're also in a relaxed mode. So yeah, it's a perfect time.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
thank you.
I want to thank you for coming live with me too and allowing me to bring your father forward. Like I said, he was in a hurry. He was showing up even before you got here. So,
My daughter just posted in the chat. I love you.
aw, that's awesome.
Yeah. Love you too, kiddo.
Like I said, thanks so much for going live for me. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. When I told my husband last night, I'm like, and I won. He's like, what? So, yeah. No, thank you. It was wonderful.
You are very, very welcome. You take care.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Awesome, guys. So what do you think? You liking the changes a little bit? I know I saw a few people posting messages. Do I have my phone here? I did. I'm just going to pop in. You guys bear with me for just a second. I'm going to pop in on my Facebook page and see if I cannot, or if I can punt the troll if they're still there. See if I can find it. Give me a second here. So bear with me, guys, because I have to go live and see if I can find this individual. Are they? Do you guys still see them in there? Or? I guess I can't get anything earlier than that. I'll just kind of keep it live on the side for the moment then. Have they stopped bothering you, the troll? You guys can let me know if they have or not. Hopefully they've kind of left things alone, but I never know because I don't always see them. And hello to anyone I may not have said hello to. We got about 40 people in here. Good, so they haven't seen them, so maybe they popped off. Maybe they're not there anymore. Thanks for letting me know, Candy. Awesome, awesome. Give me a second here, guys. Alicia Jordan, for some reason they're drawing me to you. Did you have a question or would like a connection? That's if you're still in here. Just let me know in the chat. Yeah, I'm hoping this format change has fun a little bit too. Or yeah, that you guys enjoying this too. I thought it'd be something a little bit different, right? Okay. Give me just a second here, Alicia. Hey, Lori. My biker bitch. Babe. Sister. Just kidding. Okay, go. Give me a second here. Okay. Alicia, so again, your father would not have been, if you will, into this type of stuff either. I get someone who's a little bit more quieter, right? They show me like the old, I would say old school, but to me that represents, you know, the father who'd go off to work, very strong work ethic, strong family ties. So he was always there to kind of support the family as well. And he shows me, it'd be like reading a paper, still listening and observing and being aware of everything that's going on, but not always partaking in conversations. I don't think he was always the best at showing emotion. Do you understand this? And I see your comment. Yes, he wouldn't have been into this at all. And yes, that'd be him. I just get a man of a few words. You know, he would speak up if he had truly had something to say. But for the most part, it was almost like he was uncomfortable. He was more on the sidelines than he was in the forefront. Okay. He liked to tinker too. They show me the hands. The hands represent someone who is a hard worker. It can also represent you know, weathered hands represent someone who can work outside as well, right? But I get the sense of always tinkering. So if something had to be fixed or done, he'd do it. Even if he didn't necessarily have the skills to do it correctly, he would still be there trying his best, right? Hoping that's making some sense a little bit. Okay. Did you guys not necessarily get to say goodbye to him either? Like, I feel illness with him. Because they do show me a bit of a ramp and then they show me a quick go. So, okay, Candy. So obviously there's a connection for between Candy and Alicia, huh? And I get her saying, yeah, a little bit of a laugh and a yes. That's awesome. He was very expressive in his face, though. And I don't know if one of the things he used to do on a regular basis, because he showed me this like rolling of the eyes, right? So he didn't always have to say something. It was like rolling the eyes. Okay. So I see your older sister, so Candy, and your aunt was there when he passed, but you didn't get to say sorry to him. And you know, as soon as you say that you didn't get to say sorry to him, what I get is you didn't need to. So again, it's this sense of strong family ties. Do you understand that? It's interesting because again, that showing of emotion, he's kind of going like he would have been uncomfortable, you know, having those types of conversations. Do you understand that? Hey, Tina. Was there something you were looking for from him? Yeah, I know he would have been, yeah. Because when you see the sense of saying sorry, he's just kind of, he keeps going. She didn't need to. You know, it's like with family, it's just you let it go, it's forgiven, it's done, it's over. That's kind of the energy that I get from him. Right? Okay. Was there quite a lot of people at his funeral? Because he's making a comment about he can't believe how many people were around. And it makes me feel like that he's referring to funeral or visitation, that type of thing. Okay. So I see your question here. Yes, a lot as well as online. Okay. So I see, I'm going to go to this comment first, just as it had to do with, you know, he seemed to be surprised that there were so many people there to visit with him and to honor his life when he did do that passing. And I see your other question here. When you're asking whether he is with your girls every day, you say that they always talk to him and kiss his photos, and lately they've been saying that they really miss him. Okay. When we ask the question every day, I mean, time, it has no bearing. They're very literal sometimes. But he shows me a lot of visitation, but he shows me visiting a lot of the family, right? So again, I get this sense of family being very, very important. And normally when they first pass, they can be around a little bit more, provided they're not doing, if you will, healing or work on the other side. And that's just because we need them. We're still going through the mourning process. We're healing what needs to be healed. And they tend to, again, everything's energy, right? So they tend to be around us to help us with that transition, to help us move through the emotion of what we need to move through. And as we are more able to do that, they begin to step back a little bit because they recognize that we are okay and that, you know, we start moving forward. So this is kind of what he's showing me. It's not that he's not around, but no, he's not around as frequently as what he was. Okay. And again, that sense of family. So he was always visiting, and I think visiting more so now than what he did in life, because I get the sense of, again, him being set in his ways, and he didn't really always step outside of that comfort zone. Right? Makes sense a little bit. I know there's a little bit of a lag sometimes, so I'm just hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. Yeah, good. It makes some sense. Okay. He's sending love through the lines. He's blowing kisses, right? So it's like, you know, very, I don't say very basic. It's not like, you know, but it's just one throwing the kiss, sending love through the lines. And what he's telling me is just, you know, you guys know as a family that he will always be around. Right? He says it was always my responsibility to make sure everyone was okay. He says that hasn't changed. So when I talk about him visiting different family members, that's part of that task that he took on in life, which he's taking on the other side too, is to remain and be part of, your life, your family's life, your children's life as you move forward. So I see your comment. Oh my God. In my head, I was just about to say, please tell him I love him, and didn't get to say it because you were the first of what he said. Yeah. And you know what? Again, it explains what I said. When we think of someone, when we put that energy out, they'll respond like that, right? They know it, they hear it, they're a part of things, right? They're always a part of our life. Does that make sense a little bit for you? Hoping it does, Alicia. Okay. All I heard was wipe your tears. So I don't know, again, if there's something going on emotionally for you right now, but that's what I just heard from him as well. So he was always strong. He is a strong individual, and he's telling me that he raised his family that way too, right? So lots of love to you guys. Thank you for letting me bring him forward for you. Okay. Awesome. Oh my God, I'm currently watching in the bath and I'm crying. Okay. See, they know. My job is just to provide the information, right? And knowing that he's with you and he's aware, right? Candy, I see your comment about you saying that he raised 5 girls. God love him. He would have to have some patience there. And I see the comment back here too. Yeah, he's not far. Okay. So I hope that's helped a little bit, my dear. And hello to anyone I may not have said hello to yet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so give me a second. I'm going to get a drink here. And then I'm going to bring Brenda forward. So I have someone else that's sitting on the sidelines waiting for her opportunity too. And hello to, I see some new people coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's see. Let's bring Brenda on with me. And hopefully, maybe, let me try that again. Because I see her there. Let's see if she hasn't been locked out. Hello, Maxine. Brenda, can you still hear me? I see her microphone, but I don't see her camera. So let's try again. I think Brenda's having some issues. So Brenda, if you can hear me at all, for some reason your video looks like it is frozen. So you may have to try again going out and then coming back in. My apologies. I'll give you a little boot out so that you'll come back in, and hopefully I can get you in on the live here. Okay, so hang in there. Maybe. Let's see. And I can't bring her out of there. I think she got booted out. I think Kim's still here. So I'm going to hide on the stream. I think she got kicked out, so hopefully she will try and get in again. Okay, so she's just jumped out now. We'll give it a second for her to pop back in. Technology, it's a wonderful thing when it chooses to work. So there's another troll there. Thanks, Maxine. Let me see if I can see what's going on there while I wait for her to come back in. Maybe I can find it. I don't see them right now, so maybe I'll just keep my phone going on the side and see if they post something again. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes we have trolls. I personally, Steve, love your comment, Steve. I would agree with that if I knew a way to help to figure that one out. I would definitely do that. But I don't know how to do that right now. So you guys, I'm just waiting to see She's going to pop back in. Okay, Brenda, I see you on the sidelines. Are you able to not get back in? Through it for my post. Yeah, for some reason they don't show up. The replies to people like that don't show up in my software. So I'm just keeping I'm keeping my phone on, and if I can see them post, then I can boot them from here. So before I turn it off, that's why. Let's see. Yeah. No to comment, Chelsea. It's always wonderful when things work. And I don't know why. So I saw Brenda Corning is watching. Brenda, did you want to try and log in again? Hopefully you can get back in. Yeah, you know what? I've done that as far as reported them as well. And basically what they've said to me is they're not breaking any rules, which is rather annoying. But so I saw, okay, so Brenda, were you not able to get back in? Because I can always try and, okay, there we go. Let's see. Have I got you now?
Hi.
There we go. Technology to work.
I don't know. You keep going in and out, so.
Am I? Okay.
Yes.
Well, hopefully it'll be okay. I'll do my best here. I'll put my phone to the side because I don't want to be distracted trying to find a troll and not being focused on where I need to be with you. Are you still there?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I am.
Okay.
I'm
Because I know
here.
you're kind of going back and forth too. So
Yeah.
So who would you like to connect with, or I mean, you can ask a question too about anything you want to know, but I presumed you're looking for a connection.
I am. My dad
Okay.
and my mom.
Well,
Dad.
I was just going to ask you about your mom too, because when I was asking you who you want to connect with, I was actually having a mother energy step forward as well. She could have a voice too, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Because I get someone who, I mean, I look at it as very loving,
Yes.
but I wouldn't want to cross. I wouldn't want to cross her because she could tell you what for if she really needed to. She didn't have a problem speaking up and speaking her truth. Most definitely. Right. Okay. And I'm just going to go with her right now because she's the first one that's kind of stepping
She
forward.
was 4'11".
And a powerhouse. And as I say that, what I heard was I had to be. So it makes me feel like she had a little bit of a tough growing up as well. And because she's showing me that's where the strength and tenacity and stubbornness came from was, you know, the experiences that she had a little bit earlier in life. Right. And as I say that, she goes, but that didn't change me, she says. And then she laughs. So as much as the challenges would have been there, I still get a sense of humor with her. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
They show me the kitchen. The kitchen represents someone who likes to cook or bake. And it can also represent very strong family ties. But I think she was a pretty good cook. It makes sense. You still there? Okay. So was that making some sense for your mom or about your mom? Okay.
Mom? No. No, that would have been my dad.
About being the cook?
My dad, the cook. Yep.
Okay.
My
So maybe
dad.
she's right. We're trying to
Sit
keep
in the
you
kitchen.
here.
Always sat in the kitchen.
Your father did. They had quite the relationship, eh? Because I get this sense, like very strong ties, but it was almost like they would bicker with each other. Did you get that?
I'm only getting little pieces of you.
Okay, I'm going to try again. Yeah, for some reason your internet's kind of going in and out there.
I know.
The guides, what I got was your parents had a really interesting dynamic because I get this, like, It's like bickering back and forth, but all in fun. I don't know if you caught that or not.
Oh, yeah.
So,
He did.
I get a smile on the face with that.
Yeah, they used to bicker a lot. Yeah.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Mom ruled the house.
And I wouldn't be surprised by that, because she shows me like putting her foot down. So she was, as much as Dad, was in the picture and could be the talker in that too. I definitely feel like she was the one that was like, no, you're not doing this, and control things, right, as much as you need to, because she says I needed to, because he'd go off in his own little world and do his own little thing, and she said somebody had to bring him back. So it's almost like some cases he wasn't always, I don't say in reality, but he could get sidelined very easily sometimes. That makes some sense. And I know your internet's going in and out. And I figure if nothing else, she can always kind of come back in. How you doing? You still there?
Yes.
Are you still there? Okay. Yeah, being rural sometimes sucks for internet, doesn't it? Awesome. So give me a second here. So as much as I have your mom, I mean, your father's here as well. So I'm just going to move over to Dad a little bit more here.
Really?
Like I said,
yes.
And it would surprise me when we talk about your parents and the dynamic, why Mom had want to come in first. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So give me just a second here. I'm just keying into your dad a little bit more.
Yes. You want me to leave? I am. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Awesome. Yep. So with Dad, I get illness too. They show me a ramp.
Yes, it does.
They show me body deteriorating.
Make an appointment to see you, though.
And not a problem. I mean, we can set something like that up for you as well. Was there a cancer connection with Dad?
Mm-hmm.
Because I get a deterioration of the body. Does that make sense? I don't know if you caught that or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Because he shows me over here, with Mom and in the kitchen and laughing and smiling and, being in a good place. And then, he shows me being ill, and he shows me, that the laughter kind of being gone and the pallor shifting. And he shows me how his body deteriorated and was shifted with the disease that he had, almost to the capacity, and being in a place where he wasn't really able to say what he wanted to say more towards the end. Do you understand that? Did you get what I was telling you?
Dad had a stroke.
Okay. He definitely was having a lot of issues prior to passing. Because they show me his organs shutting down. So he had multiple things going on.
I think Dad had a stroke, and then it does. Does make sense to me.
Good.
Wasn't doing well the last year.
Yeah, he showed me his color being way off, almost like a grayish color in his skin, and he just shows me just not being in a good place. That's all. So I don't know how much you're getting of this or not, because I know you keep cutting in and out, in and out, in and out. So. Was there something you were looking for from Dad?
That's absolutely right. I do. He couldn't talk to us at the end.
Yeah. He shows me not being able to communicate, so that sense of not being able to say goodbye.
Yes. That he couldn't tell me how he felt before he passed because he wasn't able to.
Yeah. And he says that was tough. Right.
Yes.
Tough for him, tough for the family. Because again, I get this expressive man and not
Is
being
that
able to
right?
express himself and
Okay.
talk and say what he needed
Yeah.
to say. It was very difficult.
So
But what he says to me, he says, none of you guys, none of his
are
family. I
they
mean,
okay?
well, I was just going to say, he tells me that you guys always know or knew how much he loved you, though. Like there was never any doubt from that perspective, even though he couldn't
No, he
communicate
wasn't.
prior to him passing. He says, I know they knew I loved them.
I'm getting some.
And you can come back and always review this and watch this, and you can probably get more of what what they're saying
Yes.
versus what you're
And
actually
Mom.
getting right now. So
My dad died all of a sudden. He took a stroke, then he died 3 weeks later.
okay. He's all right. I mean, I know you're asking about your parents and having the connection.
Yes. Yes.
What the guide showed me
He
is
couldn't talk to us at all.
yeah. Your parents had been
So,
together since
and
they were
then
young.
2 years ago, Mom passed. So
Yeah. They're showing me connection since they were young, and what I'm actually getting is it's almost like them being
it
cheek
sure
to cheek and
was.
dancing. So it's like the connection, dancing, being together. They were together from when they were young. So they show me, not that older, when we pass, a lot of times we go back to our most, our best selves, I guess you can say. And usually that's like late 20s, early
Yes.
30s. So they show me this connection of them dancing together. So most
The
definitely.
girl that I'd like to know about
What's that?
is
And Brenda, I can't hear what you're asking because you keep going in and out and in and out, my dear.
he did.
I'm not able to hear your question, so I think we're going to have to
And we
kind
did.
of, if you will, end it a little bit, just because we're just getting bits and pieces. And I apologize for that, but the internet looks like the internet doesn't want to be working for you tonight.
Okay. And I have a daughter, Donna.
I'm only catching part of what you're saying, Brenda. So we're struggling tonight. I mean, you can always try and jump in on the chat and even type it in if you want, but it's just broken, so I can't hear. Yeah. Sorry, Brenda, I don't know what's happening there, but you're kind of blocking off, so I'm gonna, much love to, my dear. Hopefully we can connect so you can actually hear what I'm saying. Hopefully you got some of it. You can go back
Is
and
Donna?
check it out.
I have a goddaughter. Oh, thank you.
Okay, Sarah, I see you're posting the question for her. Okay, she's trying to ask about her goddaughter Donna. Is she there? And Sarah, maybe you can continue on this bit of a conversation here, seeing as you know what she's after, because I couldn't hear it. So when you're saying is she there? Are you talking about on the other side, or is she with her folks? Do you know what she's actually asked? When you're asking about there, what do you mean by there? And again, that's because guides are very specific. That way I can make sure that I'm answering the appropriate question. Okay. Her goddaughter left very quickly. I get a really, really quick go. with that one. That makes sense a little bit. Is she trying to get through, or can you hear from her? So again, so Sarah, are you trying to ask whether her goddaughter is trying to get in touch with her? Okay. I get a real sense, a quick go, so I get the sense of being surprised, unexpected. She departed very abruptly, very quickly, almost to the point, I think, of her being on the other side going, what the heck happened? Like, it was just that, that abrupt. When you ask about, if you're asking about her being with Brenda's folks, right, what I get more than anything is she's around her mother. Because what she's telling me is her mother hasn't been able to let her go. So her mom is still struggling emotionally with the loss. Do you understand that? That's another reason why I decided to try and do some bringing some people live with me, because sometimes there's a bit of a lag in the chat things, and part of that is just because, you know what, I live in the country too, and I'm on Starlink now, which is a heck of a lot better than what I used to have, but there is a bit of a lag sometimes due to that. Okay, and yes, her daughter is with her mom too. So I hope that's making some sense for you. I see you're talking about her daughter's with her mom. Yeah. Is that helping a little bit, Sarah? And welcome back, Jen. Yeah. I just get her mom still mourning. If that makes sense. Okay. So hopefully that helped a little bit. I just get this sense of shock being on the other side, and I'm not sure how old or how long she's been passed, but she's showing me it's like spending more time on this side, if you will, than the other side, because she's more concerned about her mom and her own folks, because, if you will, I don't get they're doing well with her passing. And so she's concerned about them. Thanks, Alicia. Yeah, some people have nothing better to do than try and troll up all my stuff. It's rather annoying, to be honest with you. People have nothing better to do. Trolls. Okay. I'll probably have to go back in, if you guys just ignore them for now, and when I'm done, I'll go back in on my live and I'll ban them and delete their stuff. So I know, I guess really indirectly, it's better for me doing it this way because I can't see their posts anyway, so they don't throw me off. Okay. You know what? Thanks so much, Alicia. But yes, there's a lot of people, and it happens constantly, and I'm not the only, if you will, psychic that does this type of stuff online, where that's why we affectionately call them the trolls, where they jump on and promote themselves. I mean, for me, you know what, I'd be highly disgusted if I did that on somebody else. My own ethics, and yeah, I just would never do that. And to me, it just shows the character of the individuals. So I try and let it go, send it love, and I just go back in after and delete them, block them and delete them, because I have it regularly. But that, and they go in through the reviews now too and start spamming them there too. So guys, I know we're coming up to my 9 o'clock. Yeah, so normally I run for about an hour or so, and I will be posting. I'll be going live again next month. I haven't chosen a date yet, but I will definitely do that. Watch my page. If you're not on my page, you know what? Like, get on there. And what I'm doing is I will be doing draws for opportunities to come live with me. So usually I take about 3 people. I'm not sure where the other person went, but yeah. So if you happen to win, then you'll get the opportunity to jump on live with me. Once for the summer, I'm just going to be doing the one live. Over the summer, I'll be doing more, now that COVID has kind of shifted and we can get out and do things, I'll be doing more of my live groups too. So St. John, St. Andrews, it's usually at the Kennedy, St. Martin's, and even possibly back up to Sussex. That was one we had planned prior to COVID kind of hitting. So because of that, and I get busier in the summertime, I'll be doing just the one Facebook Live once a month. And then doing more public stuff. Okay, so if you're on my page, one, you'll have the opportunity to jump in on my Facebook Live for next time to get into that draw. And two, you'll know when I am out in the public and doing groups. Yeah, I see. I'll be excited to do a group reading in St. John. Yeah, I'll be touching base with Tabitha at Oh My Soul and Journey here very quickly. She's already reached out and asked about setting a date, so we'll do that. St. Martin's is another one. I've essentially and it's seaside anyway, but I'll get the name of the campground and I'll probably be up there a couple times over this summer too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of hanging out at home and masks and everything else. So I'm super excited about getting out and making some connections and seeing you guys, getting hugs and just, have those connections. I really miss human interaction. And so I'm super excited about that. So guys, I want to thank you for coming and spend some time with me. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate Kim. Thanks for letting me to bring your father home, your father through, as well as Brenda. I'm sorry the connection was a little bit off. But yeah, I appreciate you guys allowing me to make those connections for you guys. Jen, I see your comment. We would love to have you come to St. Stephen again. You know what? I see you talking about the private group sessions. Yes, I do that. I have been doing that. If I can find a venue in St. Stephen, then yeah, I'll be back down that way. I was doing it at Kelly's on Kings and she's closed now. So I'll have to see if I can find another venue in that area for sure. Okay. So much love to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Again, thank you for allowing me to bring forward your loved ones, and thanks for coming to spend some time with me. You know what? This is my way of giving back to you guys, and I'm so very appreciative of you guys. Right? So lots of love, my lovelies, and we will connect again soon. Have yourself a wonderful night.